Welcome back to DM Prep. My name is Ian and I'll be your DM for today. Today we're prepping episode 9 of the Gilded Troll Plays Curse of Strahd, titled Arganvostholt. So when last we left off, the heroes had entered Arganvostholt, much to my chagrin, because I was entirely unprepared for it. If you're a fan of the DM Prep series, then you know that for last session I prepped Krezk, I prepped the Wizard of Wines, and I prepped the Vistani camp. Fortunately, they did go to the Vistani camp. But then instead of continuing on to Krezk and then the Wizard of Wines, they decided, hey, how about we make a pit stop at Argynvostholt? So now we're here. We're at Argynvostholt. So the players used the fact that we have a tiny pixie who can turn invisible and fly to essentially scout the entire castle. So I've revealed pretty much the entire castle, every single room that has a window in it. Or every, if I really cared, I would have said that, like, they can't reveal this because they can't see it from this window. Like, I would have, like, dragged our token around and, used dynamic lighting and all that shit. But I didn't really care that much, and it was already getting fairly lengthy, so I decided to just, like, let it go and reveal pretty much everything that had a window. Which basically turned out to be every single room except this one, which the players are now very curious about, which I think is hilarious. I don't even know what's in there. So the thing here is that I don't actually know much about this place. So I have run Curse of Strahd before. This is a thing that I've said repeatedly. So I know that, that this place is run by the Order of the Silver Dragon. Or it's not even run anymore. Like, it used to be run by the Order of the Silver Dragon, which was led by a silver dragon named Argynvost. I want to say he was an adult silver. He might have been ancient. Unclear. After his death, the Order essentially fell into shambles. A lot of the knights turned into revenants, specifically vengeful against Strahd, so Strahd is the target of their vengeance, but they've long since given up on that quest, and basically have just descended into, I would call it a sense of ennui. So they are led technically by Vladimir Horngard, and in Barovia, Revenant can remain in its body indefinitely, and once it has reaped its vengeance, its soul remains trapped in Barovia. So the oh, that's cute. They can turn up elsewhere. The players essentially made a beeline through the front door, around here, and then right into the chapel where they fought 3 revenants, got their shit kicked in a little bit, but then were able to defeat the revenants. But because revenants can't ever actually properly die because they're undead, the revenants will be back in about 24 hours. I think it's exactly 24. Yeah, it's 24 hours. So they will be back. And also, I'm just now realizing, ooh, that one. That's the window I want. Just now realizing I don't have D&D Beyond zoomed in, so you guys probably can't see jack shit. So yeah, now that I've got that zoom in, so Revenant, when the Revenant's body is destroyed, its soul lingers. After 24 hours, it inhabits and animates another humanoid corpse on the same plane of existence and regains all its hit points. So this is actually giving me a cute little table for where they will show up. So I'm going to roll essentially 3d20. I'm just going to use random.org. So we got 10, 4, and 17. So 10 is in Vallaki, 4 is in the village of Barovia, and 17 is one deceased player character or NPC, wherever it happens to be. Let's say Ezek. So Revenants, they've killed, will return in 24 hours in village of Barovia Cemetery, village, church, graveyard in Vallaki. We're gonna say that this one's Milavage because I like being an asshole to the players. And one deceased NPC, Ezek. All right, so Milivaj and Ezek are just going to show up as revenants, but they're not those people anymore. It's just an empty shell being used as a tool to go murder things and be a revenant. So so one thing that I do want to specify as soon as the session starts is that it's going to start raining. Like I really want it to rain like hell on them, because I think that'll make them want to stay here. And who doesn't want their players to stay in a haunted mansion? So I also made a note to myself to consider what happens in Vallaki after they leave. So I have a few ideas about that. So if we pull up the town of Vallaki, we take a look at the special events, specifically the Feast of St. Andral. Sorry, St. Andral's Feast. It says if Father Lucian dies, locals bury his body in the church cemetery, whereupon it rises the following night as a vampire spawn. Blah, blah, blah. The attack on St. Andral's church terrorizes and demoralizes the town. After a few days, fear turns to misdirected rage as townsfolk blame the burgomaster. Baron Vlachovich's all will be well mantra can't protect him from their wrath. Barring intervention by the characters, the burgomaster's mansion is set ablaze, and the baron, his wife, and his son are dragged to the town square, thrown in the stocks, and stoned to death. I did talk about this, I think, on a previous DM prep. I don't want the mansion to burn down just because I have a really cool handout for Viktor Vlachovich's journal, and I kind of want them to find it. I was hoping that they would find it the first time that they were there, but they did not. If he's alive, he ain't. He's extra and he flees the town to avoid a similar fate. Yeah, he didn't do that. Strahd pays a visit to Wachter House and composes a letter which he asks she dead. Letter is written in Strahd's hand and extends an invitation to the characters to come to Castle Ravenloft. I actually think it'd be really interesting, because the players didn't actually do anything with the bodies of Ernst or Lady Wachter or any of her cultists. So Strahd is a spellcaster. Like he's not he's not above bringing people back from the dead. So I think it would be really interesting if when the players returned to Vallaki, that they find, yeah, he's got fifth level spell, so he could easily prepare Raise Dead. It does say he's a wizard spell. Wizards don't get Raise Dead, but I mean he's Strahd von fucking Zarovich. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So I kind of like the idea of Strahd returning. Strahd raises Ernst and Lady Wachter from the dead. He then turns them into vampire spawn. Like, they're, you know, they obviously failed him in life, so he's going to make sure that they don't fail him again in undeath. And he's going to use them. He orders the newly vampiric Wachter to insurrect. I'm guessing that's a verb. Like, insurrection is a thing, right? It's fine. Insurrect is a verb. Yeah, I saw it as I closed it. It was to rise or to cause an insurrection. Gotta love those recursive definitions. So he's going to order the newly vampiric Lady Wachter to insurrect, this aforementioned Baron wife and son are dragged to the town square, thrown in the stocks, and stoned to death. So if the players go back to Vallaki after, I would say this takes 3 days. This process takes 3 days. Vlachovich family are stoned to death in the square. So the process takes the whole process, like Strahd resurrecting Lady Wachter, turning him into vampire spawn, and then the whole insurrection and all of that, the coup. That'll take 3 days, starting from essentially the moment that they, probably from the feast, night of the third day. So today is stoning on the night of the third day. So today it's currently somewhere around noon on what we're going to call the first day, as they're exploring the mansion. I did mention as they entered the mansion that there was a peal of thunder. I think just because that's in the... Yep. It's in the read aloud text. So there was a distant peal of thunder, and as they're exploring the mansion, it starts raining in earnest. And yeah, so... And then I have this note to myself: prep, the Esmeralda shows up at Arganvostholt, followed by Argal event. So I remember that being a thing that happened. Yeah, Argal's hunt. So Esmeralda arrives at Arganvostholt on the back of a riding horse stolen from the Vistani camp outside Vallaki. She has heard that the reportedly haunted mansion might harbor enemies of Strahd and contain secrets to the vampire's destruction. Once she arrives, she releases the horse and quietly makes her way through the mansion until she reaches the characters. Hot on Esmeralda's trail are the Vistani leader Aragal and 2 Vistani bodyguards. Aragal rides a black riding horse while the bandits ride 2 dire wolves. Sick. Aragal is determined to capture Esmeralda and haul her back to the Vistani camp to face punishment for horse theft. He does nothing to antagonize the characters, however, and returns to the Vistani camp if he can't convince them to give up Esmeralda. So I don't know if I ignored this session the first time I ran this, or if my players were antagonistic towards him. But the first time I ran this, my players ended up killing Aragal. Like, that's just a thing that happened. I do know that my players got cursed in the process. One of the... so the Vistani have... curse. Yeah, we're in Curse of Strahd. That's... Vistani curses. Here we go. So one of the things that I had cursed them with was that the target's attunement to one magic item ends, and the target can't attune to the chosen item until the curse ends. And I actually picked the Sunsword because they had already had it at that point. So that was neat. When does the curse end? Curse lasts until remove curse, greater resto. Doesn't end when the target dies. I'm not entirely sure how my players got rid of it. I'm guessing that they were at least level 5, so they probably had remove curse. They probably had access to remove curse. So that'd be my guess for how they got rid of it. But it was kind of scary that it was just like you can't attune. You can't attune to the Sunsword. You know, this ridiculously important item. Yeah. So that's the whole, like, this is prepped. Cool. So at some point while the players are exploring Argynvostholt, run the Aragal's Hunt special event. Yeah, like that's just the note to myself. That's the whole thing. What is this guy? Clopping of horse hooves. Cart pulled by a draft horse and driven by a mad Vistana named Kolya. Stops in front of the mansion after relieving himself on the statue of Arganvost. Classy. Kolya untethers the horse and rides back to the Vistani camp outside Vallaki, leaving the cart and its cargo a plain wooden coffin. Coffin was made by Henrik van der Voort, has the name of one of the characters determined randomly, neatly chiseled into its lid. Opening the coffin releases a swarm of bats from within. Swarm attacks the character whose name is engraved on the coffin. If that character isn't in sight, the swarm flies away. Okay, cool. That's neat. That is a pretty cool mark of horror. At some point, while the players are exploring Argynvostholt, run the special delivery special event. Yeah, like I don't mind running both of those. I do think special delivery should probably be... So here's the thing. I think special delivery should be first out of the two. But I also want there to be several hours in between the two. So I think actually I'm just going to leave that one aside because I want to do Argal's Hunt like no more than an hour or so after like in game after we start the session. I don't think my players are going to spend a whole lot of time here because they already have they essentially already know where the thing they're looking for is. Let's view word wrap. This is a card of power and strength that tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. I see a fallen house guarded by a great stone dragon. Look to the highest peak. So, yeah, like they're just gonna go to the highest peak here, and yeah. I'm actually really curious. Highest peak. So that's area Q53. So let's take a look at Q53. Wow. So many references to Q53. Can we? There we go. So we're gonna switch over to the next map. If we can find it. There we go. We got the 3rd and 4th floors of Argynvostholt. So that's the 3rd floor, and here's the 4th, 5th, and 6th floor. All right, so we got Q53. The only way to access it is, I mean, you could just fly and smash a window, because flight is a thing that exists. You can smash a window, or you can climb up from Q51. The only way to get to Q51 is, again, smash a window or climb up from Q50. The only way to get to Q50 is, it would appear from Q14, which, like, this isn't a room, that just goes down to the 1st and 2nd floors. So they could literally, like, they already know where the highest tower is, so they could literally just take this spiral staircase all the way up to Q50, and then take this spiral staircase all the way up to Q53. And essentially the only thing they would have to fight is the Phantom Warriors at Q50. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So yeah, they would have to fight the Phantom Warriors at Q50, and then deal with whatever this trap is at Q51. Looks like it just falls. You fall. 10 foot long section, particular weak. Collapsing under 50 or more pounds of weight. Dex save versus falling 20 feet. Cool. Useful. So yeah, they essentially just have to fight a pair of Phantom Warriors, which, all things considered, not particularly threatening. It's not telling me, like, where these guys are. Are they in Q14? No. Where's the Phantom Warriors? Beacon turrets? Ah, they're Q52. Got it. Okay, so beacon turret. Oh, wait. There's no door here. Yeah, there's no door from the beacon turrets. And that's as high as they... okay, the door is at Q51. Got it. Okay, so there's no door at the 4th floor, but there's a door at the 5th floor. Interesting. There's also no door at the 3rd floor. Is there a door at the 2nd floor? That would be my question. That's the ground floor, 2nd floor. Okay, so it opens onto the balcony at the 2nd floor, but then at the 3rd floor, it does not open. The 4th floor, it does not open. And then at the 5th floor, once again, it opens. That's interesting. I don't particularly know that I like that, but I also don't completely hate it. Also, the other thing is that this is open above and below. So, like, this... They could literally just fly up from the chapel. Like, they can see this spiral staircase essentially above them from the chapel. From the window to the wall to no doors on 4th floor. Yeah. From the window to the wall. Yeah. So, yeah, like, they could very easily just beeline all the way up to the top of the castle. But let's take a look at what these Phantom Warriors look like. I see they only have 45 hit points. They do have resistance to non-magical attacks, which is pretty incredible. Immunity to cold necrotic poison. That's pretty neat. Incorporeal, so they can just, like, fly through walls and floors. They don't have a fly speed. So maybe just walls. I kind of want to just throw more. So I'm literally just going to do that. Just going to have 4 of these. You need a non-magic attack? Well, they're only resistant to non-magical attacks. But I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, it does essentially double their HP against lower level parties. My group doesn't actually have any magical weapons yet. And they're immune to poison. So Snurk does half damage. Rubik does half damage. Inej does pretty much half damage. The thunder damage from Booming Blade will get through no problem. But then Elodie and Gramps are doing basically like nothing but magical damage types like fire and radiant and stuff like that. But I do like the idea. So they're essentially going to be making their way up these spiral stairs, and then just all of a sudden, like, these dudes are here. Stone battlement encloses the roof of this turret, but that suggests that they're there. Spiral stairs descend 20 feet to archers' posts, small rooms lined with arrow slits. Do the arrow slits look? Where do the arrow slits look out on? I guess the arrow slits are supposed to look out on the roof. So that was the other thing that I was actually contemplating, was actually just removing this door and then having these be basically just archer towers that they can then fire out to the roof from, or out to the grounds, essentially. So the problem is this is a rear tower, which, like, this whole thing just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them. But I do like the idea of there just being like these really cramped quarters. Map wise, it's really awkward. Like the players start like moving forward, and they like let's okay. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think having these extra guys is a good idea. It's going to be really, really awkward no matter what, because the player's going to be moving up the stairs, and then arrow slits are on tower crenellations. Yeah, the map's off. Yeah. So I see there's tower crenellations here, but I think they might actually be referring to this, maybe, because it says that spiral stairs descend 20 feet to archers' posts. So it's describing this area. So the turret rooftops are 80 feet above ground level. Because this is the 4th floor, which is only 60 feet above ground level, because each floor is 20 feet. Because, the first floor is the ground floor. So this is 80 feet above the ground floor, and it's got the crenellations, but then 20 feet down is the archer post with slits. So I guess that's what these windows are. Maybe? I don't know. It's really weird. But yeah, so they head up to the, they'll do some stuff. And then they go up to area Q53. Wooden stairs climb to the tower's peak, which has a stone floor and a 30-foot high-pitched roof. Ravens roost on crisscrossing rafters, coming and going through small holes in the roof. 10-foot high, 5-foot wide arch windows are evenly spaced around the walls. Each window consists of lead latticework filled with small panes of transparent glass. Cute. The ravens are harmless. To the north and east lies a mist-shrouded valley with dark woods, a small town, and a lonely windmill on a precipice. To the south, the river flows through a foggy marsh. To the west, between rocky hills, you glimpse an abbey perched on a snowy mountainside beyond a long stretch of fog-smothered pines. Yeah, I actually pointed that out just to annoy you, Shadows, because I know that that's not the case in England. So yeah, small towns of Valaki, the windmills, Bone Grinder, and Abbey's the Abbey of St. Marcovium Crescent. So that's easy. Lighting the beacon. When the skull of Arganvostholt is placed in the dragon's mausoleum, yeah, not gonna happen. At least not here. They don't have the skull. Like, not right now. Even if the tower is cast down, the light of Arganvostholt remains where it is, flashing in the sky. Although the mountains prevent the beacon's light from reaching Castle Ravenloft directly, Strahd can see the lights glow in the sky to the west. The beacon can be seen in Valaki, Kresik, and Berez, as well as from Old Bone Grinder, Van Richten's tower, and the Werewolf Den. Wow. The beacon's light can be felt even by creatures that are blind. The light allows good aligned creatures to experience glimmers of hope and joy, while evil creatures find the light disconcerting. Characters and other creatures that post Strahd get a +1 bonus to AC and saves for as long as they remain in Barovia. That's neat. And Vladimir and the other evidence see the light as a reminder of all that was once good and noble about the knightly order to which they once belonged. They let go of their hatred in their corporeal bodies, leaving corpses behind as their spirits find rest at long last. Henceforth, any random encounter with a revenant should be treated as no encounter. Okay, that's cool. If your card reading reveals that a treasure is here, it's resting on the west windowsill. So this is the part where I kind of want to go off book a little bit. Shadow of Mordor Beacon Tower? Sure, I never played it. This is where I want to go off book a little bit. So I have a special weapon planned for Snurk, and there's another legendary weapon that or another legendary item planned for Inej. So I was hoping to give the Sunsword to Rubek. And my idea was that I would instead use Duskcrusher. So like the art is really cool. And this is really blurry, but if I hover over it, you get better art. So it's essentially a hammer made of light. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe it as essentially it looks like it's the handle of a greatsword. But because the card reading already said it was a sword of sunlight, I'm going to describe it as what looks like the handle of a greatsword, but instead of a sword blade, it just makes a hammerhead, and it functions as a warhammer. So then it's going to have all of the stuff that is all the stuff that the Sunsword has, but it's going to be sort of an amalgamation of the two. So I'm going to make a homebrew magic item out of Duskcrusher, and we're going to grab some text from Sunsword. So I just need this. This is information that I can give out to them eventually, but it's really this that I want to put in. Hammer of the Morning Lord. So that's what I'm going to do. While you're holding this hammer. Okay, that seemed a little unnecessary. That item takes the form of a leather-wrapped metal rod emblazoned with the symbol of the Morning Lord. Great sword. Is it not the haft? Hilt. Leather-wrapped greatsword hilt with the symbol of the Morning Lord. While grasping the hilt, you can use a bonus action to cause a warhammer head of crackling radiance to spring into existence. The warhammer's radiant head emits bright light in a 15-foot radius, dim light for an additional 15 feet. The light is sunlight. You can use an action to make the radiant head disappear. I think you can... I think Sunblades allow you to expand it. Yeah. It's a magic glowy weapon. While the radiant head persists, you can use an action to expand or reduce its radius of bright and dim light by 5 feet each to a maximum of 30 feet each or a minimum of 10 feet each. You can use an action to make the radiant head disappear. While the radiant head is active, you gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. Attacks with the weapon deal radiant damage instead of bludgeoning damage. So the reason that I want to so my reason for making this into a hammer is twofold. Number one, I want it to end up in Rubek's hands because the other melee characters have really good items coming to them. But the other reason is that with that in mind, I want Rubek to still be able to use his Crusher feat. So I want to find a way to make this deal like radiant damage and bludgeoning damage. Like I see, you know, an undead creature hit by the weapon takes extra. I kind of just want to get rid of this. Yeah, like just get rid of the damage replacement. I don't think that that's necessary. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Warhammers are two-handed 1d... No, Warhammers are one-handed d8. There actually aren't any great... I think Great Axe is the only d12 weapon. Warhammer is d8 bludgeoning versatile. Yeah, I think Great Axe is the only d12 weapon. Yeah, Great Axe d12. Yeah, Great Axe is the only d12 weapon. Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically it. So modifiers. So I'm gonna hit save changes before I lose something. And then in the modifiers, I want to get rid of the replace damage type radiant, because I just don't want that. But then I do want damage radiant 1d8 undead creature hit by the weapon takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage, and then it does have a bonus magic. It's a +2 weapon, and then it has sunbeam, costs 1 charge, and the item has 1 charge, and it resets at dawn. I do not like items that say maybe 1d6 bludgeoning, 1d6 radiant. So I would love to do that, but D&D Beyond makes that incredibly, incredibly, ridiculously difficult to do. Drop the against undead to 1d6. So there's no way for me to modify in D&D Beyond how much damage a weapon does. So if I say it's a Warhammer, then it's going to do 1d8 damage, period. But what I could actually do is I could call it a club, which will make it do 1d4 damage. But yeah, as I was saying, I don't like items that recharge at dawn, because in D&D Beyond, if you hit long rest, the item doesn't recharge. You have to do it manually. So I like marking them as long rest, because long rests basically happen at dawn. So I'm actually gonna do a thing. Replace damage type radiant. No. So okay. So instead of its normal damage, this weapon deals 1d4 bludgeoning damage plus appropriate modifiers, as well as Beyond needs some customizability. Yeah. Beyond, yeah, D&D Beyond has a lot of homebrew options, but like an additional 1d4 radiant damage. An undead creature hit by the weapon takes a further extra 1d8 radiant damage. So I'm going to hit save. And then just to make sure that this... so I'm going to grab this. This is going to be 1d4. This is just always. And then I am going to add a modifier. Damage, radiant, and then details, 1d8. Okay. So it will now deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage, plus your strength mod, blah, blah, blah. It also does 1d4 radiant damage, and against an undead, it does an additional 1d8 radiant damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to one of my characters. Let's go Gideon. Why not? He was fun. We're going to go Gideon. We're just going to add the item. So this is generally how I test magic items and make sure that they're working the way that I want them to. So I'm just going to go ahead and add Hammer of the Morning Lord. And it does say club on it. And then we're going to tune it. And then in the actions, it's going to say 1d4 plus 1, because I have -1 strength, plus 1d4 radiant, plus 1d8 radiant to an undead creature. So if I turn on dice rolling, it's only going to roll the 1d4 plus 1 bludgeoning, and it's not going to roll that extra d4 radiant. That's annoying, but I don't actually know how other people are using D&D Beyond, so I don't know if that's okay. But the one thing that bothers me is that it does show up as saying club, but you know, if someone points that out, I'll just say that's how I had to code it to get it to do the damage properly. But I do like the idea of splitting the D8 into 2d4. I kind of want to word it differently, though. Instead of its normal damage, this... No. So the reason... The problem is that I need to specify that the appropriate modifiers are on the bludgeoning damage in case something's vulnerable to radiant. So that the players aren't like, well, you know, do I get to pick which one I add my modifier to? So it's... Yeah. So it's 1d4 bludgeoning. Oh, I'm sorry. I just cracked my fingers right next to the microphone. I hope that wasn't too loud. Yeah. So I think this is probably the best way to word this. 1d4 bludgeoning damage plus appropriate modifiers, as well as an extra 1d4 radiant damage. An undead creature hit by the weapon takes a further extra... I don't think I need extra. A further 1d8 radiant damage. That's how I had to code it, because D&D Beyond doesn't let me customize stuff. Yeah, pretty much. So we've got the Hammer of the Morning Lord. It's built. I can delete it from Gideon's sheet, and we can get out of here. So Hammer of the Morning Lord is set up. So I'll essentially just actually I do want to. While grasping the hilt, you can use a bonus action to cause the symbol of the Morning Lord to slide up above the hilt, whereupon a warhammer head of crackling radiance springs into existence. So the reason I give that description, incidentally, do I have like the art? Oh, I don't have the art of the item, so let me grab that. Save image, put it in downloads, 6 through 7, and then in here, just throw it in here, downloads, that guy, and then avatar, that guy. All right, cool. So yeah, so the reason I wanted to put that description in is like, why is there just like a ring on top of it? That seems kind of weird for a sword. And essentially what I'm saying is that this ring on top was on the side of it, basically. It's like the ring just pops up and then Hammerhead pops into existence. Sure. Why not? Ooh, actually, what if the... Ooh. I actually kind of like the idea of like the ring just... Yeah, I'm gonna change that description. Fold out of the hilt, whereupon a warhammer head of crackling radiance springs into existence. Yeah, it's a spring ring. It's just, and then it, you know, it just starts at the bottom, connects to the top, you know, it just pops out of the sides like, yeah, I'm doing this horribly, but yeah, like it just pops out of the side, connects to the top, and then poof, flaming hammer, and it's just start swinging, and it's a bonus action, so. Yeah, so anytime that they think they might be getting into combat, Rubek will just need to turn that hammer on. So yeah, that's that. There's a whole lot of stuff in Argynvostholt. So I think the two things that I really want to prep are essentially how to roleplay Vladimir and Godfrey. So Vladimir is slumped in the throne. If the beacon is lit, his corpse is lifeless, and they can plunder freely. Cool. If the beacon is not lit, the body is serving as a host for the Revenant. If the characters approach it, it says, "Go away." If you have come to destroy me, know this. I perished defending this land from evil over 4 centuries ago, and because of my failure, I am forever doomed. If you destroy this body, my spirit will find a new corpse to inhabit, and I will hunt you down. You cannot free me from my damnation, nor would I wish it. If you have come to free this land from the creature that feasts on the blood of the innocent, know this. There is no monster I hate more than Strahd von Zarovich. He slew Arganvost, broke the life of the knight I loved, and destroyed the valiant order to which I devoted my life. But Strahd has already died once. He can't be allowed to die again. Instead, he must suffer eternally in a hell of his own creation from which he can never escape. Whatever can be done to bring him misery and unrest, I will do, but I will destroy anyone who tries to end his torment. So yeah, I think my players are going to try and browbeat him into helping them, and then he's going to attack them with a bunch of Phantom Warriors, and it's going to be a big ol' brawl. And he's in area Q43, no, he's in Q36, which is over here. Hey, look, there's already Phantom Warriors on the map. How convenient. That's pretty neat. He's got a +2 greatsword, which Rubek is, would probably want if it weren't for the fact that Duskcrusher. Vladimir wears a platinum symbol of the Morning Lord around his neck. Hell of his own creation. Looks at Nick, see what the celestial shield. Torture within the shield? Bruh. Dude, if my players actually thought, hey, can we imprison him in the shield? That'd be pretty cool. But I don't think that's smart. So the one thing that I do know is that he said that Strahd broke the life of the knight I loved. So that's Sir Godfrey Gwillem. So let's look up that dude. He's in area Q37. 5 revenants. Whoa. They're waiting orders from Vladimir and fight only in self-defense. They were a broken chainmail that affords as much protection as leather, and they wield longswords. As an action, a revenant attacks twice with a longsword, wielding a weapon with both hands and dealing. Holy crap. One of the revenants is a spellcaster with a CR6 and the following additional feature. Characters inspect the fireplace, notice a shield-shaped patch above the wall, on the wall above the mantelpiece. A magic shield once hung above the fireplace, but it was taken when Strahd's soldiers plundered the mansion. It now rests in Castle Ravenloft's treasury. Sir Godfrey consents that the spirit of Arganvostholt isn't at rest and isn't happy that the order has been reduced to such a state. The character's position, revenants for aid, Sir Godfrey, speaking in a scratchy voice, relates all the information presented at the start of the chapter concerning Arganvostholt and the rise and fall of the Order of the Silver Dragon. Neither he nor the other revenants can help the characters in any meaningful way, however, because of the oaths they have sworn to Vladimir Horngard. Okay, so that doesn't. The beacon has been lit. Sir Godfrey remains a revenant even after all the other revenants, including Vladimir, are laid to rest, except that his alignment changes the lawful good. Although Sir Godfrey is unaware of the Taraka card reading, he somehow senses that he must perform one final task before his spirit can rest at Vladimir's, and thus he agrees to help the characters face Strahd in Castle Ravenloft. Gargouth in Castle Ravenloft Treasury. That'd be cute. That'd be pretty cute. He's just stuck in the fortress. That'd be funny. So this is just if Godfrey's chosen as your ally, but he's not. So what they don't. Are they super? So I remember Godfrey being the knight that Vladimir loved. I'm not really seeing anything that supports that, but I remember that being the case. Oh, okay, there we go. Hatred so clouds Vladimir's mind that he can't remember that Sir Godfrey was his beloved in life. If Godfrey helps the characters and faces Vladimir, anguished recognition shines in Vladimir's eyes, yet only lighting the beacon can free him. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is true. So the only thing is, what in the hell does Godfrey actually know? So let's read this. When Strahd drove his enemies into the valley long ago, the last thing he expected to encounter was the Silver Dragon, the dragon known as Arganvostholt. Oh, cool. Had come to the valley years earlier in the guise of a nobleman named Lord Arganvostholt. Dragon didn't knew of a place called the Amber Temple. Right, so they were protecting, they were defending the Amber Temple from within, essentially, because they knew of the evil things inside of it. Like many silver dragons, Arganvostholt was extraordinarily wealthy, and he was comfortable living among humans while disguised as one of them. He attracted other champions of good, and they joined the Order of the Silver Dragon. Only those who were initiated into the Order were told of Lord Arganvostholt's true nature. During the war between Strahd and his foes, the Order of the Silver Dragon drove away malefactors searching for the Amber Temple. It also sheltered Strahd's enemies and proved more than a match for Strahd's battle-weary soldiers. But the early victories didn't win the war. Even with Arganvostholt on their side, the knights were ultimately overwhelmed when Strahd's reinforcements swept into the valley. Those forces slew the last of the knights and battled the dragon inside Arganvostholt. After the dragon was slain, Strahd had its corpse hacked to pieces, stripped to the bone, and transported to Castle Ravenloft as a trophy. Since the dragon's death, Argynvostholt has become a haunted ruin, a former bastion of nobility and light turned into a place of desolation and unrest. And all of this happened before Strahd became a vampire. The death of Arganvost enraged the spirit of Vladimir Horngard, the greatest of the Dragon's Knights. He returned as a revenant and swore to avenge the destruction of the Order. His zeal was so great that it also brought back the spirits of several other knights who rose as revenants under Vladimir's command. The vengeful revenants killed many of Strahd's soldiers, and whenever the undead knights were cut down, their spirits found new corpses to inhabit. Although the knights were grossly outnumbered, they waged war for months and slew hundreds of foes. When Strahd died and became a vampire, Vladimir's knights should have gone to their everlasting rest, but their spirits couldn't leave Strahd's domain. They marched to Castle Ravenloft and were confronted by the Vistani seer, Madame Ava, who told them Strahd had died, only to become a prisoner in his own land, tormented by the death of his beloved Tatiana and the murder of his brother Sergei. Yep. Spirit of the dragon Arganvost isn't at rest either. It can sense that the knights have been corrupted, and it reaches out to the characters, hoping they will help the knights find peace. The characters retrieve the dragon skull from Castle Ravenloft and place it in the mausoleum of Arganvostholt. The dragon's spirit ascends to the highest tower of the mansion and transforms into a beacon of light that flashes across Barovia. The light of the beacon reminds Vladimir Horngard of what he has lost, enabling him and his fellow knights to let go of their hatred and find both redemption and rest. Alright, so those are things. So past that, this is like a bog standard dungeon crawl. And looking at the map, there really aren't even that many enemies to run into. Like, the only enemies on this floor are the Revenants, Vladimir, and the Phantom Warriors. And then on the roof, basically just these two Phantom Warriors. So, and like, there's not even a lot of traps either. Like, it's mostly just read aloud text. Like, this whole chapter is just read aloud text. Like, what in the fuck is a Smoky Dragon at? We got some Phantom Warriors, some trap and Q25, we'll get there. On the first floor, there's the giant spiders they already avoided. We have a bat. We're going to find out what Savid is. I think he's a Vistani, actually. So let's find out. Let's start reading. Wine storage. Wounded elf named Savid. Okay, so he's a Dusk Elf Scout, which means he is a Goliath now. More than 400 years old, volunteers following useful information. Yep. Wine barrels turn to vinegar. Forever go. Ooh, champagne de la stomp. So we've got this this Goliath dude who got attacked while looking for Arabelle. And yeah, so cool. Neat. What's this living fire in Q6? Fire axe on initial count 10. Has AC 15, 1 hit point. Oh my god. On its first turn, if it has not been reduced to 0 points, it speaks. Cool. Okay. All right. Why not? Sure. Q7, parlor. Q8, iron gate, we already talked about. Q9, servants' quarters. Cool. Q10, kitchen. There's a bat. Neat. Wine storage, dining hall. Neato. Chapel of mourning, that's where they're at right now. Chapel staircases. Cemetery. There's a cemetery. Woo. Woo. Southeast window of area Q42. Man. High tower window. Draws curtain. Disappears from... What's Q42? What's Q42? Arganvost's bedroom. Okay. Cool. So random. Q16. Dragon Mausoleum. Cool. Stop flickering. Alrighty. West staircases. Yay. West staircases. Balconies. Like, it's just read aloud text. It's nothing but read aloud. There's no treasure. There's no traps. It's just read aloud text. Like, I get I get making a place feel lived in and all that shit, and making it feel like it doesn't just exist to have traps, but this place is like 80% read aloud text. So let's look at trapped hallway. T-shaped hallway has branches to the west, east, and south. 3 arched windows on the north wall look out over the foggy grounds. Ceiling is 20 feet high. The wooden doors to 27, 28 are locked. Cool. Requiring a successful DC 20 shrink check to break down. 10-foot squares, but not. You didn't give me a DC to unlock them. That's. Why are you like this? When a character enters one of these squares, a floor-to-ceiling wall of stone created by the spell of the same name magically appears across the opening on the south wall. At the same time, phantom warriors in areas 27, 28 rush through the doors. Wow. So, if they have one party member that just runs forward, they could get absolutely shit stomped. Neat. I'm cool with that. What is a smoky dragonette? Smoke me fit. Got it. Got it. Dragonette? Okay, why not? Smoke me fit. Fights only in self-defense. Flies out of the ruin, up the spiral staircase, through the curtain at area Q30, over the rubble into area Q33, and into area Q36. Am I supposed to know what those mean? Jeebus. Oh, it's supposed to just, it leads them. Got it. Flies out of the room, up the spiral staircase, 17. Yep. Through the curtain. At area Q30. Okay, I guess. Yeah, sure. Through the curtain, through area Q33, the hallway in the middle, and then into Q36. Jesus. There was so many words to say nothing. So we got some phantom warriors that come and murder you if you trigger the trap. That's neat. And then, where are the runes, incidentally? I saw evocation runes. Hazy Aura's evocation magic in front of the doors. Okay. Why not? Curtained staircase. East stair. Okay, so now we're on the 3rd floor. So let's move up to the 3rd floor. Alright. Read aloud, read aloud, read aloud. Very covered. 36 and 37. Cool. Closet. We got a closet. 38. 38. It's a closet. 39. Vladimir's room. 40. Arganvost's study. Read aloud, read aloud, read aloud. You hear a soft flapping sound of wings, but can't discern its origin. A single piece of parchment blows off the top of a bookshelf, spirals lazily in the air, and lands gently at your feet. So let's see what that says. Love it. Thank you. Loving it. My knights have fallen. This land is lost. The armies of my enemy will not be stopped by sword or spell, claw or fang. Today I will die, not avenging those who have fallen, but defending that which I love. This valley, this home, and the ideals, the order of the Silver Dragon. The evil surrounds me. The time has come to throw off this guise and show these heathens my true fearsome form. Let it speak. Spark terror in their hearts. Let them tell their stories of dark triumph against the protector of the Balanok Mountains. Let Arganvost be remembered as a dragon of honor and valor. My one regret is that my remains will not lie in their rightful place in the hallowed mausoleum of Argynvostholt. No doubt my bones will be scattered among my enemies, like the coins of a plundered horde, trophies of a hard-won victory. I do not fear death. Though my body will die, my spirit will live on. Let it serve as a beacon of light against the darkness. Let it bring hope to a land wrought with despair. Now, to battle. To battle! Yeah, so that's cool. Yep. Oh, cool. You can fix it. My skull lies in the fortress of my enemy. It says, displayed in a place of ill omen. Return my skull to its rightful crypt, and my spirit will shine here forever, bringing hope to this dark land. Ooh. It's not even Arganvost, it's just a spell. He just set that up when he wrote the journal thingy. And also, he set up the dude staring at the graveyard. Like, he just set up a bunch of spells to try and get people to go get the bones. I guess that's smart. Dragon's Vault, Q41, plundered. Argynvostholt's bedroom. Read aloud. Preferred to sleep in his dragon forms. There's no furniture. Neat. Q43, hole in roof. Wow. Dragon gargoyle. Q44. Okay, neat. Does that do anything? Magic mouth. Neat. He just set up all these things. He's really hoping people help. Ancient Ballister. Destroyed Ballister. Yep. Like, you really don't need descriptions for these things. Roof turrets. Roof's edge. You really need a roof's edge. Oof. Beacon tower door. You have an area for the door to a tower. Why not? Why not, right? All right, beacon tower landing. All right, so we did all the stuff. We read all the things. We prepped Arganvostholt. Only took an hour. Yeah, like, there really isn't a whole lot to do here. There's maybe 5 fights. To be fair, one of them is against 5 revenants, and another is against a revenant and 6 phantom warriors, and another is against 7 phantom warriors. So none of these fights are going to be easy, except this one. This one's going to be stupid easy. Like, none of these fights are going to be like cakewalk levels of easy, unless they get the Hammer of the Morning Lord, in which case probably a cakewalk. Speaking of which, I just want to look at. Okay, I just wanted to take a look at the actual like stat block and see. So yeah, like, I really don't like that it says club, but oh well. It is what it is. So we're done prepping Arganvostholt, which means that we are done prepping Curse of Strahd for today. I'm still prepared for the players to go to Kresik, essentially be turned away from Kresik and told, hey, go to the winery, get some wine for us and we'll let you in. And then I'm prepared for the winery, you know, in as much as I know vaguely what's supposed to happen there. Once again, the winery is kind of like a, well, here's a place to explore, go explore it. And I feel like I can run those cold, no problem. So yeah, honestly, like this session, I don't think there's going to be a lot of really, really strong roleplay this session, but I don't think it's a problem. I think the players have been itching for like a really big combat session. I think this, if they actually decide to explore the mansion instead of just beelining, then that, you know, they'll get it. They'll get their combat. With that said, we're gonna take a break, and we will be back in about 5 minutes to start the Odyssey of the Dragonlord prep. So if you are an Odyssey of the Dragonlord player and you're here, get out. And by we'll let people on our Discord, we'll let our Curse of Strahd players on our Discord know that they can join. And then for everyone who isn't a player in either of our campaigns, feel free to stick around. I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we'll start prepping Odyssey. So, bye.